Top of the morning. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Top of the Morning. And we here. It is the last day of February, and just as importantly as the last day of February, it's the first day of whatever day you want it to be. It's the first day of the rest of your life. Think about that. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Wow. That hit home for me. I don't know what it did for you, but for me, that kind of set in. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. And today must have to be the best day of your life. And not only important, man, it's like today can be the day that changes everything. Any decisions you made, any changes you want to make, any person you want to become, you could do all that right now today. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You don't have to wait till next week. You don't have to wait till your taxes come back. You don't have to wait on none of that. We sit around waiting so much for stuff to happen. Then we feel like if something happens, then we can move on what we plan to do. I don't know why we think that, but that's the way that we do things. Anyways, today's topic is compared to who? The reason why I say this, the reason why it's a topic, because how are you doing compared to who? I know we all think that we could do better. We all know that we could do better. We all think that we could be in a different place, a different mindset, a different energy. For some reason, everybody think they're doing so bad. People think they're doing so bad. And I'm like, compared to who? People think things are going so bad for them. Compared to who? And then on the other coin, the other side of the coin reads, people think they're doing so great. Compared to who? So the question is, who do you compare yourself to? Who do you compare yourself to? You know, I heard Big Sean say something that was pretty impactful for me. He said he was standing on a coast with Puff and Hove. $1 million never seemed so broke. I saw another video where 2 Chainz was talking about when you're coming up, all you want is $1 million. Until you get that $1 million, you realize how much $1 million is not. It's not about the million. It's not about the money. It's not about the lifestyle. It's about who you're comparing yourself to. And most of us compare ourselves to who we hang out with. So listen, I challenge you. I challenge you to make a new friend. And this is what I mean by make a new friend. Make a new friend that you feel like is doing better than you. I dare you. I dare you. Now, most people won't take me up on this on this challenge. Make a friend that's doing better than you. And the reason why I even say that is because we get caught up in our own circle. We get caught up in our own, we get caught up in our own society where we start to feel big at. We only want to go where we feel important. Y'all seen the show Cheers? Remember the old show Cheers? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. We're trying to go to a place where nobody knows you. Nobody knows your name. Nobody knows what you do. Nobody knows who you are. You're not important. You're just a person who walked in the room. Go to that room so that way you can make new friends. You can have a new network. You can learn new skills. You can add new people into your life. You know, I was talking to my best friend the other day, and we are on the road to becoming millionaires this year. So I asked him, I said, how many millionaires do you got in your phone? But how many millionaires do you talk to on a consistent basis, on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis? And we both sat back and was like, man, we don't talk to many. So the reality set in. It was like, man, the discussions I'm having most of the time are not $1 million discussions. I can't be having them. How can I if I'm not talking to people who are millionaires? And it's not all about money. I'm just using that as an example because for most of us, we see money as a sign of growth, success, and progress. But no matter what it is, it could be family, it could be health. Who do you compare yourself to? I guarantee you, if you live in a house with 3 people and those 3 people work out every single day, you're going to be the 4th person that work out every day. If you live in a house with 3 people and they rob banks, you're going to find yourself driving a getaway car. Who are you comparing yourself to? Big question. Who do you compare yourself to? Who's around you? Who's the people that you're saying, hey, this is what I should be? Listen, who you're around is a reflection of yourself. I'm gonna say this again. Who you hang with is a reflection of yourself. If you don't like how a person represents themselves, you can say, oh, some people may say, oh, you don't like how I am, you don't like how I dress. It's not about how you dress, it's how you reflect on me. It's how you reflect on me. It's important who you compare yourself to. Who you compare yourself to financially. Who you compare yourself to as a measure of success. You know, I remember when I was working at Quiznos, that was my first job, Quiznos. When you get inside of any job or any type of organization, you compare yourself to the people in the organization. I remember at the time I was making like $6.25 an hour or something, right? And my assistant manager was making probably like $9 an hour, which back then seemed crazy. And all I could think it was like, man, he's making so much money. He's making $9 an hour. I'm making $6.25. He's making $9. I wish I could make $9 an hour too. Man, if I can only make, I realized, listen, that's who I was comparing myself to because that's who was in proximity to me. You compare yourself to who you're in proximity to. Listen to me closely. You compare yourself to who you're in proximity to. You compare yourself with who you hang out with. Let me ask you a question. Do you make the most money in your group of friends? Do you read the most books? Do you work out the most? Are you the most healthiest? Are you the best in your group? Are you the smartest in your group? If you are doing yourself a disservice, ladies and gentlemen. You need to hang around new people. You need to hang around people that's going to make you better, not just keep you at the top. You think that you're at the top, so you like that feeling, so you stay there and you stay at the top of your small circle. You're afraid to be at the bottom of somebody else's. I challenge you to go into somebody else's circle where you are at the bottom. Like I said, this is not Cheers. It's not a place you want to go where everybody knows your name. Everybody knows you already. You need to go places where nobody knows you. You need to find a place where nobody knows your name. Nobody knows what you sell. Nobody knows about your business. Nobody knows about your services. Nobody knows about what you do. Nobody knows about what you provide. Nobody knows about you, what you offer. Stop sitting in the same circles. Expand. It's an absolute must. Absolute must. Who you compare yourself to is the most important thing, I think, for a human to understand as an adult. Who you around, man? Who you looking at? I guarantee you, if you hang out with millionaires all day, you ain't gonna help but want to be one. You ain't gonna help but try to do what they do. Listen, we've heard this many times. Everyone becomes a product of their environment. And if you don't believe that, I dare you to go hang out with someone. I dare you. I dare you to go hang out with bad influences. You know, when we was kids and your mom, your parents or whoever raised you used to be like, I don't like that person. It's a bad influence on you. You thinking to myself like, I control my own thoughts. They're not an influence on me. Yes, they are. Everybody, look, your Instagram feed is influence on you. Who do you follow? What do you look at? Your social media, your Facebook. Who are you listening to? What music are you listening to? That's an influence on you, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't believe that, you are sadly mistaken, and you're going to be where you are for the rest of your life. I tell people all the time, change what you listen to, change the music you listen to, change the books you read, change your interests. Man, we really hate to change, don't we? So who you are compared to who? Where you're at compared to who? Because $100,000 is a lot of, six figures is a lot of money compared to who? Compared to what? We find ourselves want to fit in so much that we will create and we will actually design our dreams. We will design our ideas. We will design our desires around the people we hang out with. It's crazy. If all your friends got a house, you're going to want a house. It's crazy. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't want a house until my friends started getting houses. It's crazy. I didn't think about, man, I want a house until my friends started getting houses. We all live in apartments. So I figured we good. That's why it's important to have people around you that's doing better than you in different areas, man. It truly is. It truly is. I don't care who you are, what you think that you've done, what you think you've created, whoever you think you are. You got to get around a new group of people. You got to stop staying with I challenge you to stop hanging with your friends so much and start hanging with people that's not your friends. I'm telling you. I'm telling you the truth. We're so afraid to detach from who. Listen, they're not gonna stop. Well, I don't know. Listen, I'm a guy. I don't know. I'm not a woman. So I don't know how friendships work and that dynamic, but from a male perspective, that's all I can share is from my personal experience. My friends ain't gonna stop being friends with me because I make new friends, because I decide to expand, because I decide to start hanging out with somebody who's gonna teach me something else. Because my friends will understand, like, man, if he starts hanging out with that person, either I can start hanging out with that person too, or he gonna come back and teach me something that he learned from them. Hang out with new people. You've learned everything you've had to learn from the people you hang out with currently. I'm telling you right now. Go make a new friend. Go put yourself in a new environment. I said this story before. I listened to an interview of this very successful woman, and they asked her if she was to lose all her money today, all her success today, what would she do? What would she do? She said, it's very simple. I would go to Beverly Hills. I would go to the most expensive restaurant. I would sit at the bar and I would order a water and I would sit there all day. They said, why would you sit there all day? She said, I would just put myself in an environment where wealthy people go, where successful people go. And just by being in the environment, I'm going to meet people. I'm going to pick up on conversations. I'm going to make new connections. You know, when I was in college, I used to always say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I realized that today, the degree doesn't matter as much as who you know. The degree helps, but it does not matter as much as who you know. Meeting people is your greatest asset to be successful and happy. I'm going to say it again. Meeting people is your greatest asset to success and happiness. If you think you're going to make it with you think that you have all the pieces and all the people that you have in your life, you must be out of your mind. I don't care if you're a rapper. If you're a rapper, eventually you want to start hanging around Jay-Z. Eventually you want to start hanging around the people who ultimately and ultra successful in the industry so you can learn. It ain't about who you came up with. It's about who you meet when you got up. It's about who else can teach you, who else can pull you forward, who else can propel you, who else can help you with the learning curve. Make less mistakes, take less time. You're so afraid to meet new people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying this because I'm not saying this because it sounds good. I'm saying it because it's in fact a fact. I just met a new friend named Don. Shout out to Don from Dallas for Power Play TV and podcast out there in Dallas. And I have to use that. I met Don maybe 6 months ago over the phone. I intentionally said, yes, I want to build a relationship with him. And he intentionally said, yes, I want to build a relationship with you. We became friends. Because of our relationship that we built, because I met Don 6 months ago, he's changed the entire structure of what we do here. It wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have met somebody new. It wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have went to Dallas and created a relationship with him. It wouldn't have changed if I wouldn't have started comparing myself to different people. I started comparing myself to him. Now I've been doing this for 30 years. I started comparing my business to his, and I started saying, wow, look what he's doing, look what I can do. I found a new comparison. I found a new area to scale. I found a new way to assess. Do you assess yourself currently? How do you assess yourself? The only way we assess ourselves is we have to compare ourselves to other people. That's how we assess. You say, compared to this is how I'm doing. Compared to this person, this is how I'm doing. You know how when people get in the if you're trying to build muscles, you're gonna look at the most muscular person at the gym or whatever, you can say, okay, compared to this person, this is how I'm doing. Compared to who? You got to figure out who you're comparing yourself to. And I don't care. You can sit here and lie to yourself. I don't compare myself to nobody. Man, get out of here with that. Get out of here. Everyone compares themselves to somebody. I don't care who you think you are, what you think you've done. You compare yourself to other people. That's why we dress the way we dress. That's why we look the way we look. That's why we all look about the same. We all got about the same hairstyles. We all wear about the same kind of shoes. We all eat about this. We all about the same. So stop acting like you so Stop acting like you're so special. Nobody's that special. Understand what I'm saying? Nobody's that special. I remember learning in college, in grad school, the definition of pseudo-individualism. So people think that they're an individual. They'll change, they'll get the same tattoo, but in a different place. And they'll say, oh, I'm different, I'm special. When you realize that you're not that special, and you realize, if I'm not that special, neither is the most successful person in my industry. Hear what I'm saying? When you realize you're not that special, you realize neither is Oprah. You realize neither is Tyler Perry. You realize neither is Will Smith. You realize neither is Bill Gates. You realize neither is Elon Musk. They're not that special. They just decide to do different things than you do. They decide to compare themselves to different people. They decide to put themselves in different spaces. They decide to learn different things. They decided to use their time differently than you use your time. You use your time in comparison to who? Chances are you have about the same success as all your friends. Chances are you make about the same as much money as all your friends. Hear what I'm saying? Chances are you don't hang out with a millionaire every day because you don't have $1 million. And millionaires ain't hanging with people who ain't got no money. They're not doing it often. Every now and then they'll pull up on you because you grew up with them. But that's it. They're not hanging out with you on a consistent basis. Billionaires are not hanging out with you. Billionaires hanging with other billionaires. Millionaires hang out with other millionaires. Broke people hang out with other broke people. You understand? Who do you compare yourself to? Who are you hanging out with? It's a big difference. You got to start monitoring yourself and monitoring your actions and monitor how you're spending your time. Monitoring your conversations. Who are you talking to every day? I was literally looking at my recent calls yesterday. I just want to say, man, who do I spend my time talking to most of the time? And I was looking at it's like 5 people. And I was like, man, I don't talk to a whole lot of, I talk to a whole lot of people, but I don't talk to a whole lot. I don't have a lot of conversation. I communicate with a lot of people. I don't talk to a whole lot of people. Talk to a handful of people. Most of them are my friends and my family. That's pretty much it. On a consistent basis. And I realized that I'm orchestrating my conversations around things that I want, around people I want to be, around things that I want to create, ideas that I have. Most of my friends that I talk to on a consistent basis are really, really trying to strive and make it. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna just go in the category of finances. They're trying to become millionaires, baby. Period. They're trying to reach a higher success that ain't for most people. So who you compare yourself to is the big question of the day. Who do you compare yourself to? Are you comparing yourself to those who have a little? Are you comparing yourself to those who have enough? Are you comparing yourself to those who have some? Are you comparing yourself to those who have a lot? Are you comparing yourself to those who have abundance? It's funny, when I first started running, a mile seemed crazy because I was comparing myself to people who don't run at all. Understand listen what I'm about to share with you. Understand what I'm about to share. I was comparing myself to people who don't run at all. So 1 mile seemed like a major success. And then when I started running, I started comparing myself to people who run 5-6 miles a day. I started comparing myself to my brother Uno, who runs, ain't no telling he can get out there and run 10 miles. When I compare myself to him, I'm like, man, I'm not doing nothing. My blueprint changed on what I was doing. My psychology around what I was doing changed. So therefore, my actions and efforts changed because I was comparing myself to someone different. I was comparing myself to someone that was doing better than me in the area that I wanted to grow in. Stop comparing yourself to everybody that's level and equal with you. Stop trying to just keep up with the people who are around you. You got to expand and go beyond. And don't be afraid to leave them. Most people feel like, man, if I get too big, I'm going to leave them. So what? They either got to step up or get out of here. Snoop Dogg has a great interview where he talks about how when you grow and the separation between you and the people who you currently with, there's a huge separation. They stay here and you consistently rise. They're still in the same spot. So therefore, there's a distance that's created between you and the people you were currently with. If they don't close the gap, it's on them, but you don't come back down to close the gap for them. You don't come back down to close the gap. you expand. So, ladies and gentlemen, I leave you with this today. Who do you compare yourself to is the most important thing you can think about for the rest of this week. Who are you comparing yourself to? If you're not comparing yourself to nobody, you have a huge problem. I don't care what you say, who you think you are. I don't, Mrs. I don't compare myself to nobody. Mr. I don't compare myself to, yes, you do. Come on, what are we talking about? How do we know if you don't compare yourself to nobody? Now, how do you know $100,000 is a lot of money? How do you know $1 million is a lot of money? How do you know what's what? How do you measure your success? How do you scale your growth? You have to compare. So, ladies and gentlemen, I challenge you today to go and reach new heights. Go and meet some new people. Go hang around in new environments. Go do it. Go learn something new. Until then, you will stay exactly where you are. And if that's your goal, well, congratulations, you've already made it. But if you want to grow, you want to get better, you want to expand, if you want to expand from where you are currently and become more than what you've been, you have to start comparing yourself to new people. You have to go get a new crowd. You have to go get a new sense of environment. Change your position. Change your conversations. And the only way to do that is by changing who you compare yourself to. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all time, appreciate y'all energy. Much love. I love doing this. I love what I do. And I'm working on loving myself even more than I have. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see y'all next time on Wednesday. I'm out of here. Peace out. Yeah.